So I just watched the new HBO comedy I Love LA, and it left me wondering, who was this made for? Now, the pilot starts with a sex scene opening with a California twist, where our lead, played by Rachel Sennett, and her boyfriend, played by Josh Hutcherson, are having sex during an earthquake. Now, this earthquake shaking can be taken literally, but also has a dual meaning. And this opening scene is a really good example of how her boyfriend also feels like an accessory in her life. His character, along with Leighton Meester's Alyssa, who plays Maya's boss, are two of the most interesting characters in this pilot, yet have the least amount of screen time. As the standout from Bodies, 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 and she also plays an assistant in The Idol, where she was easily the best part of that show. In this show, I Love LA, I was frustrated that it took until the end of the pilot for the lead character to confess her true frustrations with her friend Tallulah. And her friend Tallulah was her former best friend turned influencer who has seen much more success than her character has. And just like the stereotypes of LA, not everything is as glamorous as it seems. Now, Tallulah is the most integral character in the pilot because her arrival sets everything in motion and forces Maya to confront the insecurities of her own life. And the issue with the show like this is it is dependent on the core friend group being the centerpiece. But even these friendships feel surface level. With Tallulah's character, she needs to be achingly endearing, so charismatic that we believe in her ability to just glide through life, to the point where we reluctantly admire her. But instead, she comes off extremely off-putting, which makes it hard to buy into her facade. In fact, her other friends fold to Tallulah's power and essentially betray Maya in this opening pilot, which makes it hard to essentially like anyone. LA is also portrayed through an East LA lens. We're getting Silver Lake, Los Feliz, that area, to the point where braving traffic for a beach day feels like a chore. Maya's desperation for a promotion initially categorizes her as someone who's struggling to make it in LA, but by the end of the pilot, she essentially gets what she wants. Wherein the only aspect of this show that actually feels authentic is the reality that opportunity is not something that you ask for, it's something that you make. LA is not a place where you wait for opportunity. Overall, the show isn't satirical or critical enough to feel like it's a poke at entertainment, but it also doesn't feel wholesome enough to feel like a show about found family. And while the show feels like it's being made for people trying to make it in LA, it subsequently alienates that same audience by the end of the pilot by introducing the rest of the series as an exploration of people who are semi-connected, established, and disconnected really from each other. Maya decides to take on her best friend as a client and is essentially becoming a junior talent manager. And they also tease the idea that they could have a possible romantic relationship. And it looks like from the upcoming series promo, we also see that being explored with her other friends. This series leans into the desperation to be relevant. There's enough potential with this show with Josh Hutcherson's character, the cameos, and iconic LA landscapes. I just wish that the core group of friends were more honest. One of the things that personally drew me in was Maya's desperation to make it in LA.